equipment if you're at the beach every single weekend? They're like, oh yeah, good point. You want me to introduce myself? Welcome to Pacific Beach. I am Mattson Culbert, age 45, and we're at one of my favorite spots, Tourmaline Surf Park. We're in the lot and actually got a spot, and it's super sunny. So let's see what we get with my buddy Philip.
I'm excited to share with you a very special video featuring a good friend of mine, Mattson Culbert. Recently, we headed out to Tourmaline on both a sunny morning and for a separate sunset session to grab some quick footage and talk shop. I'm really getting to the meat of my channel, which is to highlight photographers in the communities that they help bring together. And as you can see, we can barely make it out to the water without running into several mutual friends who recognize Matt for his photography. So in the rest of this video, you'll get to see some of his incredible work. You'll hear his thoughts, his insights on this craft. He's definitely one of those guys. He's always willing to share his insight when it comes to his experiences and his expertise around surfing and photography. And he's always quick to offer tips to other aspiring creatives. Let's jump into it.
I was born in the beach town of Santa Barbara, California. It's about 95 miles north of Los Angeles, so it's a lot quieter than most cities, close to the ocean. And luckily, my mom's parents lived a block from the beach, and I would go down to a spot called Ledbetter, which is right by Santa Barbara City College from the time I was born. So I've been around the ocean pretty much my entire life. When I started surf photography, I think it was a natural progression that, a lot of surf photographers do. You start by going to the beach, you surf when you're young, you have some friends that are good, you start taking pictures of them or documenting them if it's something that you're interested in. I've been an artist since I was a little kid. But I think when I really learned and really was interested when I was about 21 years old, I had a lot of friends that surfed really well, and they didn't have anyone to take photos or film them, and I always enjoyed that stuff. I've always been obsessed with the surf magazines when I was young, surfers journals, surf books. I just always wanted to show those things that I saw in the water, the things that I thought were beautiful that maybe other people either could relate to, would find interesting, or give them a view into a world that I'm privy to that not a lot of people in the world are. Because when you really think about it, so few people live close to the ocean, and so few people ever have the ability to surf in their lifetime, especially if you surf more than 20 years. I mean, you're a rare breed of human being, I feel like, until maybe recently. But when I started, surfing, they probably had a parent or an uncle or grandparent or someone closely related to them that got them into it, because it's not your normal thing that everybody does, like soccer or basketball or something like that when you're growing up. My favorite places to shoot now, here close to home, I would say obviously Black's Beach or the glider port at Torrey Pines, that overlooks Black's Beach, and Scripps and La Jolla Cove. I mean, the photos I get there when the waves are big are as good as anything that I think I've ever shot. But sometimes you have to almost force yourself to go and shoot, even when you don't feel like it or you don't think the conditions are going to be good. Especially the beach is so unpredictable. There's times I've been on the beach where it's practically raining and foggy and overcast, and then the sun comes out and you get all these beautiful golden light tones, and you get a crazy sunset, and that all can happen within 40 seconds or 40 minutes. I also wanted to leave some advice for young photographers, and that's just to be consistent and show up and shoot as much as you can. You don't have to shoot 12 hours a day to be successful. You just have to be consistent. If you shoot for an hour every day, or let's say you shot 5 hours every week, like, you're on a better path to being more successful. Because really, my biggest indicator of like when I felt satisfied with my work was I'd been doing it for 20 years. And I'm still critical of myself and I'm hard on myself, but I feel like my work's at a good place now. Not only my digital stuff, but my film, my video editing, you know, my video clips, all those things. Like, it's evolved over time. But I would, I tell a lot of my friends, just the most important thing, honestly, as a photographer is your relationships, your community, your communication skills. My big advice really is be consistent with your work, learn how to edit, learn color, but also like be a part of your photography community, network, make friends. If you're afraid to approach someone, just do it, because the more that you do that and you reach out to people and you talk to them, it will just make you more confident, in building more relationships and community. The community is really the biggest thing that I've noticed that helps me. And like Philip is a perfect example of that, because we know each other through our friend Josh, and then we got to know each other, and then Philip wants to do a video on me, and then I would like to interview Philip down the road. And it's like there's all these things that could lead to other things down the road. Who knows, I would just say, don't be afraid to be yourself, be your authentic self, and do the things that you find inspiring, and don't let anybody else tell you whether it's good or bad, or if you're going to make any money from it. Just continue to show up every week. And if you have a vision, it might take 20 years for it to come to fruition, but your friendships and your relationships and your communication are the most important thing, I feel like. Because if I wasn't able to communicate certain things and be kind and open and helping others, like, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Thanks again for checking in, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing Mattson and myself do our thing at Tourmaline, and seeing some of his work and learning about his tips and tricks and his best advice for getting in the water and doing surf photography. There's plenty more in this transcript on my website, link down below. Be sure to check that out, and I will see you guys in the next one.